And retired Justice K.T. Shankaran has started checks at the Sannidhanam in Sabrimala. And this, remember, has happened after High Court has appointed him to conduct a comprehensive inventory of the valuables, including gold, silver, precious stones and articles of antiquity at the Sabrimala temple. And now we are learning that he is in fact looking at the Sannidhanam in Sabrimala. He started the inspections there. My colleague Neetu is joining us on the broadcast for more details on this. Neetu, we have just presented the facts on what really has happened in the Kerala Assembly, how the opposition has been up in arms over this issue, and there has been high drama. There are suspensions as well. And in the wake of all this appointment of the retired Justice K.T. Shankaran, now the inspection has begun, we are told. More details about that, Neetu.
Now, retired High Court Justice K.T. Shankaran has reached Sannidhanam, and from 11 a.m. today, the inventory has begun. Basically, the High Court has appointed Justice Shankaran to conduct an inquiry of all valuables, including gold, silver, the precious jewels, everything at Sabrimala temple. So today and tomorrow, he is expected to conduct the inventory at Sannidhanam, which is the main temple in Sabrimala, and later it at Aranmula also. From 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. today and tomorrow is what they are expected to conduct this inventory. Now, other than this, the special investigation team headed by ADGP H. Venkatesh will also be conducting inquiry. They have also begun their inquiry. After the vigilance submitted the report, the Devasam board had approached the DGP to file a complaint, and it will be based on this complaint that the SIT will be investigating, and FIR will also be registered in this regard. So these investigations are ongoing parallelly. The High Court has been very clear that there has been discrepancies, there is mystery, and it has also mentioned in its yesterday's order that about 474.9 grams of gold, which was taken from the Dwarapalaka idols and the plates when it was taken for re-gold plating in Chennai. At that time, after the replating was done, this amount of gold has been handed over to Unnikrishnan Poti, the sponsor, who is the man in question here. Now, the High Court also maintained that there is no record whether this gold has been given to the Travancore Devasam board. So many discrepancies has been found by the Kerala High Court, about 4.5 kgs of gold missing. So this entire inquiry will, by the SIT, will unearth what really happened. The vigilance, the Travancore Devasam board vigilance has submitted their report, and now Justice K.T. Shankaran's inventory is also progressing in Sabrimala.
How long will this inspection take, Neetu?
So today from about 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. it will continue is what we are understanding, but tomorrow also it will continue in Sannidhanam. Then some of the gold is kept at another place in Aranmula, so that will also be conducted day after tomorrow. But definitely in Sannidhanam, today and tomorrow the checks will be continuing.
All right, thank you, Neetu. Do stay on with us. In fact, let's play out some more reactions as the politics is really soaring as far as this entire Sabrimala gold controversy is concerned. Let's see what are the other voices from Kerala really saying as far as the Sabrimala issue. And we'll come back to Neetu.
It is a clear indication of the fact that the High Court doesn't trust the Devaswam board and the government. So now, I don't understand how the Devaswam minister is still clinging on to his chair. And the Devaswam board president, he is still in position. Why do the government not dismiss and dissolve the board?
An FIR and to start the investigation regarding the loss of gold in the Lord Ayyappa's Sabrimala. Now it is very clear that the court mentioned that this is a very serious situation, and the court directed the special investigation team. The special SIT has to report the information only to the court, not to the government. Unnikishan Potti is not only the only person, all the CPM leaders, including the ministers and the Devasam board officials, CPM leaders are involved in this case.
There is no doubt in any Malayali's mind that crimes have been committed, gold has been looted from not just Sabrimala but across temples in Kerala. Crimes have been committed, there are criminals behind it, there are powerful forces behind it, and this kind of activity, this kind of shameless, unforgivable loot of sacred shrines is not an issue that happened 6 months ago. This goes back 10, 15, 20 years. That is why we are demanding an investigation into the last 30 years of Devasam activities. That is why we are demanding that 30 years of Devasam vigilance reports be made public.
With that, we are shifting our focus. Amid hectic parleys between alliance partners, the BJP is set to finalize the seat-sharing arrangements within the NDA for the Bihar elections ahead of its Central Election Committee meeting that will take place on the 12th of October. A joint list of candidates, including allies, is now expected only on the 13th of October. State-level talks are complete, and BJP has prepared a panel of 3 names per seat for discussion to be approved by the Prime Minister-led Central Election Committee. Now, meanwhile, the LJP has reaffirmed its NDA alliance but will hold its parliamentary board meeting. Parties are also stepping up campaign efforts, with Prashant Kishore set to take on Tejasvi Yadav in Raghupur. And that is, remember, both Tejasvi and Prashant Kishore's stronghold. Let's see what happens in that constituency. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, in fact, has arrived at JP Nadda's residence. This also comes in as the suspense builds over seat-sharing pact in Bihar.
मैं जानता हूं कि आप सब सिर्फ घोषणा का इंतजार कर रहे हैं, वो भी जल्द हो जाएगी, पर इतना मैं जरूर कहूंगा कि बातचीत बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत बढ़िया से, कल जैसा आदरणीय नित्यानंद जी ने कहा, सकारात्मक, बहुत ही सकारात्मक रूप से बातचीत हुई है, हो रही है। हम लोग पहले ही डिस्कस कर लेना चाहते हैं ताकि बाद में गठबंधन के भीतर किसी भी चीज को लेकर, सीटों को लेकर, प्रत्याशियों को लेकर, कहां पे कौन कैसे प्रचार करेगा, कैसे, हर चीज को विस्तार से हम लोग चर्चा करना चाहते हैं, जो कि बहुत अच्छे से हुई है, हो रही है।
ये तो सच्चाई है कि माफिया राज, गुंडा राज स्थापित हो गया है बिहार में, और इसका समाधान करना ही पड़ेगा। आम जनजीवन को सुचारू रूप से चलाने के लिए, आम जनजीवन को बेहतर बनाने के लिए, तो जो नई व्यवस्था बनेगी महागठबंधन के रूप में, तो उसमें माफिया राज समाप्त करेंगे। असली बात तो यही है सीट शेयरिंग का। तो सीट शेयरिंग अंतिम दौर में है, कल से परसों तक सारा घोषणा होगा।
संतोष कुशवाहा है वो आरजेडी ज्वाइन करने
अच्छी बात है, स्वागत है। जितना ज्यादा जितना बड़ा परिवार हो और सबको अत्यंत पिछड़ी जाति के लिए हम लोग तो लड़ रही हैं। हम तो चाहते हैं अत्यंत पिछड़ी जाति पूरा का पूरा कांग्रेस, एसटी, एससी सब कांग्रेस उसकी बात कर रहा है, तो हम तो कांग्रेस का एजेंडा ही है अत्यंत पिछड़ी जाति ओबीसी।
Let me take this across to my colleague Aman Sharma, who's joining us again on the broadcast. Aman, first let's begin with talking about what has been the arrangement as far as the NDA faction is concerned over seat sharing. Have they managed to skirt that little bit of issue that they were facing with Chirag Paswan's party, the LJP Ram Vilas?
Well, they are claiming to have solved that issue, but we'll only have the proof in its pudding, Greya, when the seat distribution is declared. We heard yesterday that it may be declared officially today, but I don't know if it's happening today or not, because Upendra Kushwaha is suddenly very, very upset. He's coming to Delhi to meet the BJP leadership, so we'll have to wait and see. But so far, what I've heard reliably from top BJP sources here in Delhi as well as Patna, that the JDU is going to contest between 102 or 103 seats, while the BJP will contest 101 to 102 seats. That leaves only 40 seats for the 3 allies. The BJP has promised 25 to 26 seats for Chirag Paswan. That leaves only 14 seats for Upendra Kushwaha and Jitin Ram Manjhi. Now, Jitin Ram Manjhi in the last election with NDA, contested 7 seats. So he will not agree below 7. He will at least want 7, if not 8. That leaves just 5 or 6 for Upendra Kushwaha. He is very, very unhappy with that because he feels that he should get more seats at Jitin Ram Manjhi. He thinks he's a bigger party. I think Upendra Kushwaha is coming to Delhi to thrash that out with the BJP leadership. But as far as I know, for the last 3 days, after detailed talks with Chirag Paswan seems to be on board.
Okay.
The only loose end with Chirag Paswan right now is he wants certain seats. You know, not just the number. He wants to contest a certain number, identified seats, which the BJP may have a slight difficulty in giving it to him, because I believe a couple of them are at least held by BJP MLAs.
Okay.
So BJP has 80 MLAs in the state. So it remains to be seen how BJP thrashes it out by evening today, or maybe it will happen tomorrow. We are not too sure now after these deliberations and these tussle, which is kind of tug of war which is happening.
But as far as these 3 allies of the BJP are concerned, particularly Upendra Kushwaha, who you're saying is seemingly rather upset, how much of a possibility or a conjecture is rife within the political circles in Bihar that there could be a swaying or a jumping of ship when it comes to the other 2 allies, if at all the BJP is pressed on keeping Chirag Paswan happy?
Well, I think the jumping stage is a pretty late now, Greha, because on the other side also, like the Mahagathbandhan, the fight is even more intense. There, even the Congress and the RJD, the 2 bigger parties, are not able to arrive at a solution so far on seats. In fact, Rahul Gandhi, I believe, is now back in India. Tejaswi Yadav may go to Delhi to meet Rahul Gandhi, and only then this may be resolved, because the RJD wants to contest at least 137 to 140 seats. They want Congress to come down from 70 to about 55, 56. I don't know how much the Congress is willing to do that. Plus, there is a left parties there, which have performed exceedingly well, both in the Lok Sabha and the last assembly elections in Bihar. They want a larger number of seats. And the biggest headache is Mukesh Sahani of the VIP party, who is insistent on 35 to 40 seats, which the RJD has flatly refused to give him that much. He also wants a deputy chief minister's position. So clearly, I think the tussle is even bigger in the Mahagathbandhan camp, and they may not be in a position to entertain somebody like Upendra Kushwaha with also his big demand. But in Bihar politics, Rhea, anything is possible at the last moment. I remember in 2020, a seat distribution formula was being announced by the Mahagathbandhan, and Mukesh Sahni had walked out of the press conference and changed ship to the BJP. So, anything can happen in Bihar. Maybe the next 24 hours are crucial in this regard.
Right, absolutely, Aman. Do stay on with us. We have a few more reactions that we'd like to play out for our viewers. Let's take a look.
हर पार्टी और उसके लीडर को अधिकार है कि जिसको चयन करना करे, उसमें मैं कोई टीका टिप्पणी नहीं करूंगा, चाहे वो जन स्वराज हो, चाहे वो कोई पार्टी हो। लेकिन एनडीए एक फैमिली है, एक परिवार है, और परिवार में जो सबसे मजबूत कैंडिडेट है उस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में, उसी को मिलेगा टिकट और वही जीतेगा। इस बार जनता ने भी बिल्कुल मन बना रखा है कि जिस तरह से गुजरात में हुआ था अनप्रेसिडेंटेड रिजल्ट, उसी तरह से यहाँ भी उसी तरह का रिजल्ट होगा। मुझे लगता है अगर 200 भी पार कर जाए तो मुझे आश्चर्य नहीं होगा।
किसी भी दल को जब लगता है कि सरकार बनाने की कोई संभावना नहीं है, तब वह ऐसी ही बातें करते हैं। तेजस्वी यादव और महागठबंधन अब पूरे तौर पे मान चुका है कि वह बिहार के चुनाव से आउट है, और इसलिए वह इस तरह की बातें कर रहे हैं। जल्दी ही आप तेजस्वी यादव जी से सुनिएगा कि जितने लोग भी उनके पार्टी को वोट देंगे, सबको वह स्टारशिप में बैठा के चांद ले जाएंगे, क्योंकि वह जानते हैं कि सरकार बनेगी नहीं और जिम्मेवारी मेरी होगी नहीं। इस तरह की बातें वही कर सकता है जिसको राजनीति का क ख का भी ज्ञान नहीं हो।
बिहार में एनडीए की सरकार बनाने की उनकी मन की जो योजना है, उस पर बहुत विस्तृत से आपको बताया। धन्यवाद। सब सकारात्मक है, कहीं कुछ नहीं है, सब सकारात्मक ऐलान कर देंगे।
बीजेपी तो एनडीए तो 2020 में भी कह रही थी असंभव है, कहां से देगी? तो 20 वर्षों में कितने नौकरी दिया? तेजस्वी जी ने 17 महीने में 5 लाख नौकरियां बांटी, 3.5 लाख प्रक्रियाधीन करके आए। यही तो खासियत है, यही तो लड़ाई है, सच और झूठ की लड़ाई है, अमीरी गरीबी की लड़ाई है। नौकरी दे करके तेजस्वी यादव जी ने प्रमाणित कर दिया है, और जो तेजस्वी यादव जी ने कहा है, जो वादा किया, उसे पूरा करके दिखाया।